Hello and welcome back to another Harmonic Quick Bits. Today we're going to talk about the Drop2 chord and the chord voicings that go along with it. In this lesson, only root position. In the future, I will have all the inversions for you. We had in the previous lesson the Drop3 chord. Here the principle was to take the third note in a voicing and drop it down an octave, resulting into a different voicing of the chord altogether, and it sounds much more open. In the Drop2, it's the same thing. We take the second note of our regular closed voiced chord, drop it down an octave, and we are getting an open voiced chord. Now this time we're going to work on the middle four or the inner strings. Let's take a look at the basic structure of this Drop2 chord. We're going to keep everything in C. So first note on the A string, third fret. Then we get the fifth on the D string, the seventh on the G string, and then the third on the B string. Okay, so now let's establish the different qualities of the chord. Major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7/5, and fully diminished 7. As with the previous lesson, I will be going from the chords with the most common tones, and I'll work my way through the different chord qualities. Let's check it out. Now that we have the 5 different chord qualities, let's harmonize them in the C major scale. So let's take a look here. Of course, we have 12 keys, so eventually work your way through all the 12 keys. Begin with the ones that you use the most. Now, the next examples show you a couple of very common chord progressions, so check them out. And here's another technical exercise, just with the previous lesson. I'm going to go through the circle of fourths, which I call the music's phone number. So we're going to play the chords, drop 2 chords, 1, 4, 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. All right, after that, we're going to mix the drop 3s and the drop 2s together to keep a close chord movement so that you don't have to jump around on the A string, or if you are still working in the drop 3 chords, on the low E string. So let's take a look at the music's phone number chord progression. Remember, that's 1, 4, 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, with both chords connected. And lastly, here's a simple 2-5-1 example where I mix the drop 3 and the drop 2 chords together. Check that out. All right, as I mentioned, these are basic chords and they're really essential to know to get through any musical style. And they're easy to play, they're fun. Practice them slowly and you will get the hang of it, I promise you. In the following lessons, we will work on drop 2s on the top 4 string, as well as all the different inversions, so we can actually start to voice lead different chord progressions. Happy practice, and I'll see you soon.